What's going on, Black Baseball Mixtape fam? We are in the booth, Floppo Boys here, and we talk about being in the booth. I'm being joined by somebody who actually makes his hay in the booth with the microphone, making sure the storylines are being told at a top tier, a high level. Please welcome Marsh on the mic, sir. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Thank you. It's an honor and privilege to be here with you. I appreciate the time. And
Man,
everybody on San Diego in the house, SD.
San Diego. I was a fan of San Diego, man, but them Padres have just been a thorn in my side as a Mets fan. We're gonna talk about that momentarily. But the
Right on.
most important question I got off the rip, man, is being someone we've seen in the sports casting space. I mean, what was the moment for you when you said, "No, this is something I want to do"?
Well, essentially started. My daughter was a cheerleader her 10th grade year, about 2019. So, you know, being a cheer dad, getting her ready. I'm there early before the game, so I go in the booth of the first home game just to say hi to whoever's in there, and it was empty. So the JV football coaches coached my son, who was younger, 4 years younger than her, and Pop Warner. So I just called him, hey, bro, you need an announcer? He was like, well, if you don't mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm here anyway. My daughter's cheering. So that's how it kind of started getting on the mic
Yeah.
from JV football. And then I would do her games and, I would get a lot of feedback like, hey, you're really good. I'm like, I'm like, thank you. And it just built up 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And I did some basketball for her school as well, Sarah High School. And then it turned into Canyon Hills High School out in San Diego. So, um, and I started getting feedback from just not just the parents, it was when we had sports media come and do the games and the people were there like, hey man, you did good. So that's when I realized that I have a gift or some kind of talent to do this. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man, and it definitely shows. But let me take a step back because there are some people out there who would say, "Oh heck no, I would
Yeah.
never get on the microphone." But this random day, you were like, "I'm going for it." Was like a sign inside. Did you have like you were doing like Microsoft before? Like, what made you go that day going, "No, we're doing this"?
Well, I remember when I played Pop Warner football, and the first time I heard my name called when I made a tackle. It
Oh,
was the last game of the year, and it was like one of the last plays. And I made the tackle. It was my first year playing tackle football, and I got my name called, and I was like, that was such the best feeling.
yeah,
So just being a former athlete, or still an athlete, once an athlete, always an athlete, but former high school athlete, knowing how that feels, and just also my daughter's a cheerleader, so now I want to spread light to the cheerleaders because they're athletes too, and they're doing everything to get the crowd going. So in between, during a play, if there's a timeout and the cheerleaders are doing their thing, I'm like, hey, well, I'm gonna make sure my daughter and her squad get acknowledged, just like I'm giving love to the football team. So,
yeah. And was your daughter cool with that? She was like, "Oh, Dad, nah,
oh
nah,
yeah,
nah."
no, she was cool. And
Word.
the funny thing is the cheer coach, and shout out Coach Alicia, she's so awesome. She told me like no announcers through her years there, like no one ever gave the cheerleaders any love. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna change that. And I made that a point. Every sporting event for youth that I do, I always acknowledge the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Because again, my daughter's a cheerleader. She's in college now at Hampton,
Okay.
Hampton University, her junior year. I'm really proud of her. But I wouldn't be the girl dad that I am if I don't shout out all the other cheerleaders. And when I go to different games, different sports, basketball, football, what have you, like, thank you. No one ever shouts us out. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
well, you guys are athletes. You practice, you work hard, you're performing during the game, you have your cheer uniform. You're part of the whole Americana of high school sports, youth sports, the
True.
cheerleaders. So I always make
Yeah.
sure I do that.
We didn't have cheerleaders. Well, we did in high school, but it wasn't like the cheerleader game now. The game to me
Right.
has evolved, or a certain style of cheerleading has pervaded. Like we had like the go team, but
Mm.
the stuff that you have to do to be a cheerleader now, man, you have to be strong, you got to be flexible, and go on no sleep. I
Yeah, yeah.
respect that.
They work
Uh,
hard, definitely.
yeah. So talk to me. Are you a San Diego original? Did you move to San
Yes.
Diego? Like, what was your
No.
story like, growing up in San Diego? Just as getting that whole sports vibe.
Native San Diegan, born and raised, San Diego Padre fan, San Diego Charger fan. San Diego didn't
Still,
have a.
or no more?
Oh no, see, the San Diego Chargers don't play anymore, so
Fair enough.
you know,
Fair.
and LA Lakers, because there at the time I was growing up, there was no San Diego NBA team. So one of the local TV stations carried, and this is the perfect time, like this is the 80s, and guess what? Lakers Showtime. So Magic Johnson, Kareem, Byron Scott, all of them. So that was on regular TV for us. So that was just free TV, so that's what we watch. So that's how I got into basketball.
So I heard a rumor that most Clippers fans are saying from San Diego. You're saying no. When you were a kid, it's
No,
all about the Showtime.
I didn't even so it was always football, baseball, and then basketball as I got older.
Okay.
So the only basketball that I saw that was on TV was the Lakers. I didn't even know the Clippers were from San Diego until I got older. Their whole lineage of where they started and left, but no one
Yeah.
I know from San Diego is a Clipper fan.
That's what. Okay.
So born and raised San Diego, from Southeast San Diego. I went to Lincoln Preparatory High School, LPHS, one of the greatest high schools in the city of San Diego. Lincoln Hornets, alumni class of 1994.
Let's
My
go.
my high school had Marcus Allen, Terrell Davis, Keely Smith, Damon Allen. A lot of prominent sports figures came out of San Diego, my high school in particular.
Interesting. San Diego, known as America's finest city. I love that. No,
That's what they show. That's what they show the masses. I'm from down the way a little bit, but it's still
okay.
the finest city.
I always love that. It's like, yo, man, don't get it twisted, though.
Yeah, I mean, no, just
Yeah.
be mindful of where you travel to. Just stick to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a rule of thought, even from my hometown, BK. Okay,
Right.
so I moved to Southern California in 2007, so I got like a couple
Okay.
years in the game. I think I've been here long enough, but I respect the culture enough not to say I'm a local. Like it, I
Mhm.
ain't from here.
Right.
They've been kind to me. But walk me through the evolution of the Padres. You are a fan day one. I
Yes.
got here. The Padres are absolutely terrible. They were in the blue and white uniforms. They were giving away tickets. It was like 2,000 people in the stands. It felt like Mets home games when they played. But you go there now, the Padres are like, what, number three in attendance behind the Dodgers and Yankees? It's a whole different vibe, man. Walk me through your evolution being a Padres fan.
So it all started '84 when we beat the Cubs to go to World Series. They had the Cub Busters. This was when Ghostbuster movie was out. So during that playoff run, there was T-shirts that had instead of the ghost with the crossing out the ghost, they put a cub with the circle with and it was Cub Busters. So but that's my first memory. Padre baseball was about 7 going on 8 and going in the World Series, we lost to the Detroit Tigers. But Jack Murphy Stadium is where is you. That's what it was called. Me growing up, then they changed it to Qualcomm, then they tore it down, and they're at Petco Park. But '84 World Series, just a homer for San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
Used to go to the games a lot. Then in '98, I was in the Navy when they were in the World Series against the Yankees,
All
and
right.
that 3-2 pitch that Mark Langston threw. I think it was Tino Martinez should have been strike 3, but then the next pitch he hit a grand slam and changed it. We should have won game 1 against the Yankees, but all love to my East Coast people. Don't take it
I
personal.
mean,
I'm just
you can.
calling it like it was a strike 3, and because Tony Gwynn went upper deck that game, and Tony Gwynn never goes upper deck like that, but he was in the one of the greatest places to play baseball, Yankee Stadium in '98, and that hurt us. But
Hey, I mean, respect to the
um,
East Coast, but you can hate the Yankees here. It's a
no,
nice
I
sport.
don't. I don't say I hate anybody. It was just that particular moment. I was like, the umpire did us wrong, but the Yankees were the Yankees,
Yeah.
and they swept us, embarrassed us, but never stopped rooting for the home team. And they go to Petco Park. It was some tough years trying to build it back up. We got good ownership now and got high level stars. So yeah, it's definitely a
Yeah.
blessing to have Petco Park in your backyard to be a part of the Padres
Was
or
Tony
to be
Gwynn
able
your
to go
guy?
see. Say again.
Was Tony Gwynn your guy?
Oh, I mean, like, oh yeah, for sure. Tony
Yeah.
Gwynn, that's Mr. Padre. God rest his soul. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, being a fan of a franchise has ups and downs, and it must be crazy. But I know no one. I'm not trying to question anyone's fandom, but on
Mhm.
previous episodes, I have told people that it felt like the city had given up on the team, and no one was going to games. I mean,
Mhm.
free tickets were day of, but now
Yeah.
you can't even get in the building.
Oh
It's
no.
it's a vibe. Like I understand winning teams bring people to games, but what was the fundamental shit? Was it the ownership? Was it the changing of the colors? Was it new restaurants at the stadium? What really made people say, "I'm going to come out and support the team"?
I believe it was the ownership investing in the team. And I believe it started when we got Manny Machado, signed him to
Mhm.
that $300 million something contract. That was the catalyst to change the culture. Then we went back to the brown and gold. colors, and that because that's Padre colors. So that was it. We traded for Tatis. We traded, had some other stars, but the Manny Machado signing from the new ownership group, and just understanding the vibe, like everything around Petco Park, like they block off some streets so you can't drive through. It's like pretty much a day night party before
Yeah.
the game. All the businesses around, it's like a street party. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really really vibrant atmosphere. I saw the other day, I think it was a Wednesday game. They had over 40,000 on a Wednesday afternoon game. It was just
Hmm.
unreal. But yeah, it's a definitely a an amazing experience going to a Padre game.
Petco Park, top five,
Petco
top
Park
five
for sure.
parks in the game. Yeah, it is kind of a fun idea to see how the city has really embraced or re-embraced the team, depending on how you look at it. Also, from the outside, I gotta talk about it. There's a rivalry with a
Mhm.
team up the road, Los Angeles Dodgers. It gets spicy, it gets dicey. I'm from the outside. I've been to both parks. I've been in the middle of the fights, not real fights, but like the arguments, the
Right.
cheers, the chants. Do you consider the Padres Dodgers rivalry one of the biggest ones in sports? It seems like the one of the most hottest ones in sports. A lot of intense words are being thrown out there.
I don't think nationally,
Yeah,
because the Padres don't have championships behind them. So
yeah,
nationally, I believe that they say Dodgers Giants are more nationally a bigger rivalry. But to us in Southern California, us particularly in San Diego, just this is us, our little neck of the woods, and sunny Southern Cal. So it's
yeah,
definitely a rivalry. I don't like get into the Dodgers and want to, hey, it's a fun rivalry. Go out, have some fun. You root for your
yeah.
team, I root for my team. We want to beat y'all. Y'all want to beat us. And at the end of the day, it's still all Cali love, just from
Right.
my perspective. So
I only ask this as a Mets fan because even though the Mets and Yankees are different leagues in town, it's always like big brother, little brother, and I've only
yeah,
seen that little brother phrase used in reference to this rivalry here in Southern California. I mean,
right,
I live down the street from Dodger Stadium, but I'd much rather go to Petco for a game personally,
yeah,
just for logistics and all that. But
yeah.
that's kind of cool to see how intense that both sides of the game can be.
Well, the Dodgers have a history of winning championships.
Hmm.
The Padres
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
So, and that's why they always put that, not they, just some people put that on us like, oh, you guys are little brother of the Dodgers. Like, we just want to play them whatever game, let's want to beat them that game. So, what happened in the past, we can't go back in time and change anything. Just, hey, we got to get one. And
yeah.
until we get a World Series, we'll never have that national respect. Like they always think, oh, Padres are going to do good until it's time, and then, oh, they won't. But I'm always going to root for my team all
Yeah,
day, every
I,
day, twice on Sunday.
exactly. That's when you know someone's from your town when they
Mhm.
ride with your team, do good or bad. It
Oh yeah,
seems to me sports is evolving, man. The way we consume it, the way we go to games. Let me ask you, as someone who's in the booth, when you're seeing softball up close, you're seeing volleyball up close. Are we in a new era of sports fandom? Are we seeing the NIL deals? Are we seeing the people bringing posters? Are we seeing a shift, or is it just kind of like, hey, it's always been the same, just the names have changed?
I believe it's a shift, and I think it starts at the youth level because when I was playing sports, parents weren't in. You just dropped your kid off, and you went to practice, and you went home. Football, baseball, basketball, whatever it was just the players and the coach. Parents didn't hang out.
Yeah,
I'm a Gen X guy. I was born, I was born in '76, so I grew up in that generation where no parents were involved. But now, being a parent of a multiple sport athlete, I see that that's where it starts. That parents are involved. They know the importance of sports, and they know having your kid with quality coaching and a quality program counts. And then that translate into the travel circuit with whatever respective sport, be volleyball, baseball, basketball, softball, like that. The travel club circuit is huge. And then it
hmm,
goes right into high school. What travel team did you play for? Okay, come to this high school, because in some people's minds that travel players are coming into high school at a higher level than someone who played little league or pony league. So that I think that's where it started, where through the parents, uh,
yeah.
and a more hands-on approach, knowing their kid has some talent, getting them with trainers and getting them in the right position, the right team, the right school.
Do you? Maybe it's kind of an intense question, but are parents pushing too hard? You think, as far as like the different programs and all the, because it's of the investment that it takes for them to
Yeah,
get their kids here?
I believe. in my opinion, I've seen the extreme
Okay.
where, and growing up, my son, I had to realize that I didn't want to be that dad to be yelling from the stands. So even though I could have been loud, I would go all the way to the outside when he was young of the
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the home run outfield fence, and that's where I like to stand. I didn't really like being in the stands because I'm a passionate guy. So, but
yeah,
I've seen some parents, if they didn't take advantage of their opportunities that they had, they don't want their kid to miss out on opportunities. And sometimes you can push your foot on the gas pedal too much instead of just letting them be a kid, letting them play. We
yeah.
all want the best for our kid. All my kids are way better off than I ever was, and just like my father made sure I was better off than he ever was. So, it's just a cycle. But when you see your kid has a passion and talent for something, don't try to just hammer it out every day. They'll just like, I don't want to play. I'm tired of playing. I only play because I don't want to hear my dad's mouth or my mom's mouth. You know,
Right.
you just want
Yeah,
them to have their own experience because it's their life. That's what they have to do. Nothing I can do. I can talk to my son or my daughter as well. My daughter did cheer and dance and stuff, but in particular, my youngest son, talk to him, he's blue in the face, and you get the Charlie Brown, won't, 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 won't. Like, I just want to play. And if we lose, like, hey, it's cool. I teach him, hey, the most important thing to do is have fun. Before
yeah,
every sport, since he was 4.5 playing soccer at the local YMCA, every game, I read this somewhere. The important thing you talk to your kid about, and you ask them this question: what's the most important thing you're going to do today? And their response, he always respond, have fun. Okay, go have fun. Win or lose, win or learn. I don't even like to say lose, win or learn. 0 for 4, 4 for 4. Just have fun playing the sport you love because you're
yeah.
going to blink and it's going to be all over with. So just enjoy
You gonna blink, you're like, ah, why does my back hurt? Get out of bed because I'm 40, I'm 50.
it.
Well, maybe it's just kind of a bias thing because I don't have any scientific numbers in front of me, but I felt like when I was a kid, I was a 90s kid, so I guess they would
Mhm,
call me, when I was a kid, they say Gen Y. Now they say
mhm.
elder millennial, which sounds even worse. But
Right.
when I was a kid, I was a Gen Y. I felt like a lot of things that I miss is after school figuring out what you like before joining a team. Like, hey, we'll
Mhm,
go out, we'll play stickball, and if the kids who like baseball will do that, the kids who didn't will do something else. I almost feel like it's like a Hogwarts situation where a
mhm.
kid goes, "I want to try soccer. Okay, let's go to a soccer league. I want to do
Yeah,
baseball. Let's get you some travel ball." And that to me has been a crazy jump. We're getting better athletes by
for sure.
sure, but I'm like, I wonder if the fun is still there, win or learn, as you say.
Yeah.
You know.
I think a lot of the fun has been taken. Some of it just depends on where you go because some programs, it's all about winning.
Mm-hmm.
Transfers in, we want to win, win, win. I believe when I was growing up, even maybe when you were growing up, the fun was just playing outside. And
Yeah.
a lot of that, you don't see that no more. Like we used to play outside, street football, go to the park, hit the baseball. Just if you got in trouble, you couldn't go outside to play.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that right there, that not having nothing outside, being at the park all day. Hey, let's play basketball. Okay, get the football. Let's play. This is the touchdown. Who's the all-time quarterback? Whatever the case was, like there no kids aren't playing outside just for fun to say, hey, you know what? I play for fun. I'm pretty good at my local park. We're doing good. I want to go play basketball. And it was just back when you played football, you played basketball, you played baseball, or football, basketball, track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone, whatever the season was, everyone played. Now, if you're a football guy, they play year round or train year round. Basketball year round, baseball year round. The best thing I want to do for my kid was just provide variety.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck into just one sport. So whatever season it was, here's your options. You can play A, B, or C. What do you want to do? I want to play this. Cool.
Yeah.
Season's over. This is next. A, B, or C. What do you want to? And then I remember one year he said, "I don't want to play football this year, Dad." I'm like, "Why not?" "I just don't want to play." "Okay, well, let's play fall baseball." "Okay." So he didn't play tackle football like sixth grade. We played, travel baseball. Well, but you're gonna play something. You're not just gonna go to school and go home. So I just
Right.
wanted to
Right.
make sure he was active. That was my
Yeah.
main thing.
I mean, that's the name of the game now. I mean, not to rag on technology because it's so useful, but I do shoutcasting or commentary for esports, and I love it. I'm not trying to rag that,
Mhm.
but that wasn't really an option when I was a kid. It was clean your
Oh,
room and get Mario Brothers for an hour, not
yeah,
get out of school early and win some money playing a video game. And so you can
yeah,
stay inside and don't have to play if you don't want to. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and please correct me if I say anything inaccurate.
No
You
problem.
are in the booth for football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, softball, and soccer. Is that true?
Correct. Correct.
Wow.
Yes. A lot of high school sports, youth sports, um, JUCO sports, some local professional minor league sports here in San Diego. I've done so, and it all started at my daughter's just regular high school JV game. That's where it all started from.
And people just found you word of mouth, or you go to buildings and be like, "Yo, this is my track record. You be a fool to sign me."
It was more word of mouth because just being the person I am, giving good energy and making it about the kids, not about myself.
Yeah,
Bigging up the kids, like especially during football. Like what I would like to do is, if there's a tackle, gang tackle, and if there's a kid who I know he hasn't really got his name called, but there's a linebacker who made the first hit, but then everybody jumped on. I'm like, okay, they're tackled by a host of whatever the team is, led by, and I'll just say number 61's name, and to hear their parents clap and cheer because that kid's name never gets called, but he was in the tackle where I could have chose the linebacker who's been called 30 times already,
yeah,
but this kid was close enough. He did get in on the tackle, throw him a bone, and hear his name, and then the parents, oh, you were the announcer. Thank you. You did a good job. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I like to do by the earning it, by the kids earning, and then promoting the kids in every way I can. Um, I like to do after the game, whoever was the star of the game or player of the game, to do a quick interview, on my social media again, just promote them
yeah.
because it's all about them and what they're doing. So now they'll have. So I'm a real nostalgic type of man. So I know that I'm creating memories for these student athletes. And 2, 3 years down the line, they look back like, I remember this game. Look, I remember having that interview or whatnot. So
That's
just
so important.
do
I
my
mean,
best for them.
I'm a wedding DJ and I do esports, and I think a lot of times people forget like a part of the job is being a vibe merchant. Like yeah, you get
Yeah.
the game covered, but definitely be like, oh, this is the kind of house you're going to get when you
Yes.
sign up with me. So when you are so disciplined in so many different sports, like, and I know everything's different sport to sport, but how do you prepare? Like, how do you get yourself locked in to perform for a high school, college, semi-pro, or JUCO?
So it just knowing mentally preparing for the day, have my calendar of events, set it up before at the end of the previous month, so I know what's coming up. And then on Sunday, I have my prep. Okay, this is what I got going on this week. I like to get to whatever game probably about an hour and a half um, early, just to get the rosters. I go talk to the coaches, get the correct pronunciation of the players, and then that's where it kind of starts at that level. And a lot of feedback I get is, thank you for even trying to ask how to phonetically pronounce this name, because a lot of places we go, they just butcher it. They don't even try. And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
my thing when I go into it, I introduce myself to the coaches. Hey, I'm Marsh. I'll be the announcer today. How do you pronounce this name? And they're shocked, like, wow, you would take time. I'm like, yeah, I want to be respectful of people's family name, because your
Mm-hmm.
family name is your honor. This is the name, your bloodline, your lineage. And why would I just look at it like, and just kind of butcher it because this is what I think it sounds like, instead of asking that player.
Yeah,
So if I'll go to the coach and they'll call the player over and I say, how do you pronounce your name? I'm going to, so, okay, thank you. And I'll write it phonetically. So when I'm looking at my rosters, have what if I'm in particular basketball, the home side's on this side, I have the home roster in front of me, the visitors on this side. So I'm looking at everything. So I know that number 22 and right to the name, and I phonetically wrote it down so I can say it correctly. So
yeah,
and I think that resonates. Nothing. I believe that resonates with a lot of the people in terms of the coaches, the players, and then the community, the parents, because they'll come up, thank you, did a great job. Thank you for saying their name correctly. That's
yeah.
always a big one that I get a lot of times.
That's what's up, man. Being able to make sure everyone feels like a superstar, even though they get ice cream after the game. You know what I'm saying? You either got chores tomorrow, but that moment
Absolutely.
they're a superstar. Yeah.
Yep.
Talk to me about the Dago Sports Show. Decided to go on there, have the platform, getting the interviews,
Yes.
getting content. Like that was kind
Yes.
of cool. Was to do the other side of it as well.
Yeah. So the reason I created Dago Sports Shows, because I wanted to give platforms to student athletes, uh, and some undeserving student athletes and undeserved communities or teams. a lot of times with the main platforms in San Diego, some of the kids, I won't say they're overlooked, but there's only so much you can, that people can post when they have in today's sports, this happened or that happened. But there's so many schools out here and so many student athletes that so many stories and accomplishments may not get promoted
Yeah.
like I feel. So I'm like, well, there's opportunity to promote. So, and some of these student athletes have journeys of, you know, that they've been on to get them to this point in their life before they get ready to go to college. So the ones that I, at the time I was able to select, they were intriguing to me. I did some research on them. I said, okay, they're intriguing to me. Let me
Yeah.
give them a platform to share their journey and what they've been through and their favorite moments and favorite games and favorite memories.
What's been the craziest thing that you learned about like having a platform for student athletes? Any kind of pro tips? Any kind of experiences?
Um, that the positive way of it is just the people being thankful that someone wanted to share their story,
Yeah.
and their parents like thank you, like there's one, her name is Poway wrestler, all state Poway wrestler Alejandra Valdivizio, right?
Hmm.
She like the little sweetest person, and she's a monster on the but she said that her teacher didn't even know she was a state champion wrestler when she won it. And I'm like, your
Oh
teacher
wow.
didn't even know that? Like one of her
Yeah.
teachers didn't even know it. I'm like, wow, like you're the all-state wrestler as a female, and she goes to one of the best high schools in San Diego that has one of the top wrestling programs, Poway High School.
Yeah.
But just that little things like that, like wow, like your own teachers didn't know, like for whatever that reason was, nothing against anyone,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
was like when in talking with her, um, one of the other student athletes, her name is Sophia Mojica. She's at UCLA right now as a freshman, and tied or broke the freshman record for RBIs in a game. Like again, she broke records in San Diego for career home runs. Another guy, just that sticks out, Jackson Daniels, two-sport athlete. He was one of the top athletes, but there's so much cream of the crop in San Diego that maybe he got looked over. Not saying he wasn't worth it, but there were so many other ones. But I always watched him for a few years. I'm like, hey, he was the very first episode I did. His mom
Yeah.
came out, and it was Super Bowl like 2023, I believe. Yeah, it was something like that. But it was just an amazing experience, and I felt good that I was doing something bigger than me to promote student athletes who were, on sharing a part of their journey in high school.
And that's so important. I know a lot of times I don't have kids of my own, but I know some parents would try to brush that part off. Like when you are a kid playing in the park or you're playing with your friends, you think about the glory of the final strikeout or the touchdown and all that. And you don't get that so much at youth sports. It's kind of like you work and then your coach is like, "Good job, see you tomorrow." And but to
Yeah,
have someone say, "Hey, look, I saw what you did.
yeah,
Talk to me about what you did." It's like game changing. Again, I'm only talking from the esports side.
yes,
Kids are 14, 15 years old. They're practicing for hours. When they lose, they win. That's it. But having
yeah,
someone going like, wait, what was your strategy? It's like, oh,
right,
thank you. I'm not
yeah,
just a machine. I'm a person.
absolutely. And a lot of times from the sports that I do, that I'm their first interview they've ever done.
Wow.
And there's another story. This was I did the San Diego champ. We call it CIF. California Interscholastic Federation Championship, CIF, San Diego section. And I did the volleyball championship last year, and it was Mission Hills. I forgot who they're playing, but the athlete that I interviewed, she may not have been like who they selected as player of the game, but I watched this young lady block shots and do the kills. Like she was hustling and did a great job. So after the game, I'm like, hey, I want to do an interview with you. She, was shocked, like, really me? So and uh talking with her, getting her an interview and just asking, hey, how does it feel? The first ever championship in school history. What was the mental preparation on this playoff run? Just things like that. And I got a message from her mom on Instagram, and she was like, "Thank you so much. That was the first time my daughter's ever had an interview. You did a great job asking her questions. It meant so much to our family." Like that stuff, like that, like it resonated with me because I didn't do it for praise for me. I'm like, she deserved it. And if the people who say who's the player of the game didn't even acknowledge her effort, not saying her coach didn't, but I'm just saying like I'm didn't know her from anything before that game, that
Yeah.
volleyball match. And I saw her, I'm like, I want to ask her about the game because she did good and it touched her and her family and it meant so much to them. So
I can imagine your Friday nights and Saturday nights are pretty booked with these sporting events. So, what do you do when you have a night off? What do you do for fun? How do you hang
uh,
out? How do you recharge?
well, it's I always think it's a blessing to be busy. So um and thankfully it's pretty much all weekends as well. But I just like to have, live by San Diego. So I go by the water. I go, do my exercises out there, and just keep it low key and vibe because, kind of recharge mentally and spiritually and physically when you're out at these events. I also help and do things with local football that my son plays as well, and the teams that he's a part of as well. So I'm just more just a figure that's to help out in every aspect I can, and every day is it's something different. So
Yeah.
again, it's a blessing to be busy, and anytime I have to myself, I just again recharge mentally, physically, spiritually.
Right. Think about those old San Diego Charger memories.
No, those are heartbreaking. The Marlon McCree, no disrespect, the interception, and they ripped it from him, and that was we should have went to the Super Bowl that year. And then of all the football, have you ever heard of a team firing their coach who went 14-2
Hmm.
and had the number one seed in the AFC, had 18 Pro Bowlers, something like that, and you fire your coach?
Yeah. I have never heard of it, but
San
I've seen
Diego
it.
freaking Chargers.
I will say up here in Los Angeles, a city that actually prefers the Raiders. I've been to both LA teams. I'm sorry, and
Yeah.
I enjoy Chargers games a lot more. There's a lot more
Mhm.
fun. You know,
Yeah.
both up as they say.
Yeah, but they're San Diego Chargers. They always have been. They always will. Hey, they left. It was more politics and stuff that I have no. Whatever. They left. I tried to root for them. I just couldn't. So I'm just not emotionally vested in them. I just like football. Um, so
Oh, you just went to players now. You just
yeah,
didn't
just
pick a
more
team.
teams. Like
Okay,
I like. I'm not. I don't have like. Oh, this is my team now because I'm
right.
San Diego Chargers all day, every day. But now that they're not there, I can just root. So like an underdog team that I like is the Detroit Lions because I remember they used to suck for years.
Yeah,
And no,
comically.
like oh, you're the no, like, and they were playing really good. Now, like they're one of the best teams. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
good
No,
for them.
I
I hope they win. And I again not rooting against any team. It's all love. I got two partners that love the Washington Commanders. My other partner's a Niner fan. So whenever I'll root. Homies like them. I like. I'll root for them. I like the Steelers. No particular reason. I just I like Mike Tomlin, the energy and effort he puts in. But I'm just a fan of football. So if it's a great game, I'll just root. And, whoever wins wins. Whoever loses loses. So.
Yeah, I root for Tomlin. But I would say when I was a kid, I was a Jets fan, and then
Mm.
Vinny Testaverde broke my heart in high school one time. I was so mad, I just started rooting for the Texans, the expansion team. Game
Right.
one, no one called me a fair weather fan. And it took a long
Yeah.
time for the Texans to pay off. Like talking about teams that underachieved.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you're like, yeah, man, you know how it is. Stroud, he's my guy. But there was some years it was like 4-2. What?
Trust me. Hey, I was a San Diego Charger fan, Ryan Leaf era. No
All
disrespect,
right,
but that was one
yeah,
of the hardest times. But and Junior Seau, rest in peace.
yeah.
That was our guy. So but I never wavered. I was always proud of the teams from the city I'm from. So.
So, talk about the city you're from. Got to ask you about the Padres. On this show, we
Mhm.
always ask everyone this question. So, as a Padres fan, the first Padres fan on the show, so thank you so much for taking time to say yes. Is baseball, or as of today, is it cool? Why or why not?
I believe it is cool because now it's they made the game faster. There's more offense. You know, there's more what's the word I'm looking for? Spunk. It's more
Okay.
energy. The players are flashy. There's social media. There's videographers, like travel baseball, the youth baseball, the high school, the college. Like everything's out. Social media. The swag, the all the stuff the players wear. Like it's cool. It's a vibe. And it football definitely took over as America's pastime, in my opinion. but
Hmm.
baseball has always been something that I've loved. But I believe that it's getting better the way they've adjusted. It's not the old school 1-0 game. They
Right.
don't want they want offense. They want flashy players hitting, home runs and great defense. The athletes are faster, stronger. So I believe it's in a good place.
If not to put you on the spot here, but if it's something that baseball can do to be even cooler on that track, do you have an idea of what they can do to spice things up?
Make it more affordable for some family members,
Hmm.
because everyone, a lot of people are priced out on some of to just like back in the day, you can just take your kids to the Padre game and, get some hot dogs and stuff, and it was something reasonable.
Hmm.
I think now a lot of places have lowered some of their cost on their food because it's like, how am I paying $9 for this, something like this,
Yeah.
that's $1 or $2 right down the street? Like, come on, nine
Yeah.
dollars? Like, what are we doing?
Those are
And then
airport
you're
prices.
losing your core of the community. When hey, let's take the family out, let's go to Padre game. Oh well, it's $20, $20, $20, $20, and it's for one person to have a drink and the food and this and that. That's about another $30 plus $20 ticket. We're spending almost $500 just to go out for the wife and kids to go to see a Padre game. So,
Yeah.
I believe I think it was the Angels owner, Art Marino. I forgot his
Hmm.
name.
These
That
are
I
arrangements.
I read a few years ago that he made the hats like they were $5, the Angel hats.
Mm,
So he wanted everyone to have a hat. So it's pay $5,
right.
stuff like that. So Petco Park used to have $5 tickets in the park area. Obviously, it's big money now. Got to pay all those players, so that's that's not there no more. But I just think of making it more affordable for.
Okay, I want to ask you this kind of a personal question because I
Sure.
don't have a wife, I don't have kids, I don't have a
Mhm.
family. Well, I have my mom and dad, but I
Yeah.
don't have a family of my own. What is something just to compare that's affordable? Because I'm hearing the museum game is expensive. I'm hearing the movies are too expensive for families. Like, if I had to think of something that's affordable for a family of four, what should I compare it to when it comes to games?
It's hard to because even youth sports are ridiculous.
Hmm.
Travel baseball costs. You got to pay the uniforms and plus the monthly fee. Then you got to pay the tournament fee. Then when you pay the tournament fee, you got to pay to get in. Then you can't bring your own food and drink. You got to pay for their food and drink. Then the equipment's expensive. So it's a year-round battle. Like, okay, well, you play all these sports, got to get all this equipment, and then we want to go to the game. So it's just more of trying to find the best option that's more. It's like you have to plan this out. You can't go on the humble, like on a
Right,
whim. Hey,
right.
let's go to the game tonight. So it's precision planning.
The
There's a
reason why I
game where,
asked
yeah.
the
So
reason why I asked is
something like
that
that.
I come from the world of comedy, and one of the
Mhm.
hardest things to get through a stand-up comedy show is getting people to show up. Right? They go, "Well, man, but I buy a ticket, I get two drinks or two items. It's a lot." And I'm starting to think in my advanced age or my advancing age that we're just training people to stay inside. We're just training these people to say, "Hey, look, man, pandemic flow wasn't that bad for the wallet. We don't got
Mhm.
to go outside at all." I kind of
Right.
wish we had like these big options to get people to come out and bring the family, bring grandma, and
Yeah.
bring the dogs if you want to in some games.
I think that those kind of people are priced out. I think the people that are now at the games are the people that have the means, and the people that are just getting by or don't go anymore because they can't
Mhm,
afford it and they just choose not to go. You can't even watch. I remember growing up, you can watch Padre games on the same channel I used to watch Laker games.
mhm,
It was KUSI. That's the when it first came out, they put Padre games and Laker games. And also on WGN used to be Cub games, TBS used to be Brave games.
mhm.
KTLA used to be the Dodgers and Angel games. It was all free TV. Now you have to pay to watch the road games on MLB TV. If you don't have the Padre.com package, that it's blacked out. You can buy the season pass, but if you want to watch the Padres, it's blacked out unless you pay $20 a month to watch their home and away games
Yeah,
instead of just having on regular TV. So if you lose a lot of people have lost being a fan because the access to it. Like I'm not paying $20 a month because I'm barely able to do this or that. So
yeah. Times is hard out there, man. I can't lie to you. But speaking about your career, man, as you wind this down, I know you do so much on the microphone in the booth. Is there a particular trajectory that you want to pursue or lean towards, or just kind of like take the opportunities as they come?
well, definitely. I believe God puts me where I'm supposed to be and lines up my path the way I'm supposed to be. I respect people, whoever, whatever you believe and how you believe. I believe it's no rule book. So just for me and my faith, I believe that my path is navigated and just my faith in God is if this if an opportunity that I was doing closes, that just God's removing it for something different to come my way that I'm supposed to be. So it all started again from just being helping out my daughter's team, just being a cheer dad to understanding I have a talent and then just networking. Like with Coach E, I saw him, he was great job. He does so good uh, promoting
Mhm.
the San Diego Baseball Classic, and it was two teams. I'm like, well, that's one of those teams in my alma mater, Lincoln High School. So I sent him a message, hey, coach, you got an announcer for your games? He's like, no. It's like, well, I'm an alumni of Lincoln Hornets, and this is what I do. I'm San Diego PA announcer, so I got to be on this. So we linked up and we made it happen. Just networking, a
Yeah.
lot of doors don't get open for me. I knock, they don't answer. Some doors answer, and sometimes I have to kick the door in. Or now, uh, I seen that's how I used to think, but you want to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Okay.
So I don't want to
Yeah.
force my way into or any opportunity. That's why I was so before when I first started, I wanted to do everything and realized that maybe everywhere didn't want me to be there for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So
For whatever reason.
whatever reason, we're not, so
I hear you. My mom always
so
says, "Man, only
yeah,
rats and roaches go where they're not invited."
thank you. So Sean Merriman, shout out former Charger Sean Merriman, he posted something on his social media and was along the lines of I don't compete, I create. So that resonated so much to me and where I'm at and the trajectory I'm on. So I'm right now setting up to create instead of trying to compete. Like you're doing
Yeah.
that, I want to do it too. No, I'm just going to do my own thing. That's why the Dago Sports Show I created. I don't want to compete with anyone. I created undeserved student athlete undeserving communities who don't get spotlights or the notoriety for their achievements from the bigger platforms in local sports here in San Diego. That's what I'm here to do because I'm
And
from that neighborhood. I grew up like that. So
that does matter, especially now with you seeing with brands trying to find we're trying to be authentic. We're trying to be authentic, and then
right.
and you can always see through a company that tries to put like fake brick walls in a restaurant or use like
No.
unlocal language. But you were literally in the streets. You were from San Diego. I mean, that's
Yes.
a perspective I would value a lot more, especially as being a transplant myself, living in Southern California. But I appreciate the words there. You don't compete, I create, because a lot of times there is that kind of comparison. Not to say that the other person can have success at all, but you wondered,
Yeah.
oh man, how come I can't have that as well, or how come I
Right.
can't do something similar for me? And it really isn't about that. It's about what are you doing it for, what's the mission, and whether you
Yeah.
are achieving that mission. So I respect that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, but if Petco Park does call, you will pick up the phone, though.
Oh well. Ironically, I've last baseball season 2024. I was an announcer for a high school baseball game
Oh,
at Echo Park.
whoa.
So to God be the glory. I announced the game. I believe it was Lexico against Southwestern El Centro or Southwest El Centro, and I was in the booth at Petco Park. I think I sent you one of the pictures.
I mean,
Petco Park.
yeah, but I was like, okay, maybe it was like a tour thing. No, you
No,
actually there.
the
Like, don't
announcer. I'm
bury the
like,
lead. Like,
and now batting number one for a collectible
what?
bulldog. Yes, they do it
Okay.
every year. CIF does an event. The Padres allow them to use the field when they're on a road trip. It's always the middle of April, somewhere around there. And every team, every year, it's a different high school. It's like,
Mhm.
you know, two days, three games, like 10, 1, 3, something like that. But every year, it's different schools get to take part of it. It's like, it's a yearly tradition out here. And last year, just me being an announcer for them for a couple of years, I got selected to do it, and I
Yeah.
was extremely honored. So I've been an announcer at Petco Park. Uh, the last 2 years, I was the announcer at the San Diego Sports Arena, Pachanga Arena, for
Okay.
the San Diego Strike Force, the indoor football league. I did the San Diego High School Baseball Classic at the University of San Diego. I've done championship games at the University of California, San Diego. So the only thing next for me is Snapdragon, is to
Okay.
be an announcer for college football or the high school football championship game there or something. But Snapdragon's is in my scope.
Do venues get the butterflies going, or is just a microphone in a different location? Like, what's the
Oh,
approach? Mm.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like, oh, I'm about to rock it. Like, let's
Okay.
go. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm on the mic there. I'm gonna just let my talent do my thing. Now, the Petco Park, sometimes like, oh my, like I can't believe I'm here. I remember when they were building this, so I just knew it was an honor, and I don't want to get all like I was the first of this to be in this space, but I don't believe that there was anyone that is similar to me that had that opportunity to have their voice echo through Petco Park.
Oh yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I think I know I have to some kind of barrier was broke, but I don't want to make it all about that. But I know for sure I'm doing something that no one's done before. Definitely trailblazing out here, and I want to do my best to create an opportunity for other because middle school sports in San Diego they have middle school leagues. So middle schools play against middle schools, flag football, basketball, soccer, volleyball. Like it's getting bigger and bigger, bigger. And my homeboy out here, Lonnie Jones, he runs that. So I would love to help younger kids. Hey, I want to be an announcer. I want to do something, but I don't know how. Well, I know the feeling because this has never been told. This path has never been shown to me. Like, how can I be an announcer at the Petco Park? How can I be this? It just
Yeah.
happened for me. And whatever I can do to help anyone behind me, I'm definitely because I know what it's like coming from somewhere when no one wants everyone's guarding the gatekeeping and don't want to show you where the gate is. And like,
But
oh no, it's over there. And then when someone like me comes around, oh, I don't know where the gate is. And then
yeah.
someone, oh no, it's right around that corner right there. So
Well, I mean, actually, I was going to wind this down, but that's a very important thing you mentioned. Like, why? Because I think a lot of people would love to know where the gate is and not share it, but you made a conscious effort to share. I mean,
yes,
what was the reason behind that?
because why wouldn't you want to like I don't feel threatened by any type of person taking anything like hey like I feel like I was blessed to find it and it's my job I know I'm put on this earth to be the person I am and I'm being used to make a difference out here and if I can help one person I've done God's work
Hmm.
I've done a job because I've been blessed to be and afforded opportunities here I am how can I not say you know what you want to do it and you're doing all the right things, not just say, hey, let me hook you up just because. No, like you really want to. Here you go. This is how you do it. Thank you. I would have never known if no one told me. Hey, well,
Wow.
unfortunately, that's the case for me. A lot of big time opportunities, big time colleges, they won't even respond to me. Hey, are you dating an announcer? How can I get on the rotation?
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, I went up to Anaheim to the Honda Center, I believe,
Hmm.
and it was a job fair for the LA Kings, USC, the Dodgers, UCLA.
Oh, work in sports. Yeah.
Yeah, so but I went up there as an announcer, so I'm going to each table in the hey, I want to be an announcer. Like, oh well, we just do ticket sales. No, I'm like, well, I got my own highlight clip, like, and UCLA. I sold myself to them, and they said, okay, we'll get you with our someone. I forgot the title. I don't want to put no one on blast and be like, hey, I got with someone who was in the know. They said, "Hey, this person told me that you talked to him, or you're interested in this. Send us your, resume and your highlight clip." I did that, and they loved it. And they said, "We'll
Hmm.
put you on the rotation if anyone cancels for football, basketball, baseball, softball." And that alone, right there, like, holy crap! Like UCLA.
All right, so full disclosure for those who don't know this, UCLA and San Diego is about 120 miles apart, and you go to hop in the whip and drive up there.
If they said you will be the announcer at the Rose Bowl on Saturday, can you
Uh,
come up? How do I say no?
right,
We
you're
need you
right.
to be
You're
the
right.
announcer at Pauley Pavilion. How do you say no?
Yeah.
How do you say no? UCLA calls. How do I say no? But
Yo,
just
you
the
tell.
fact that I went up there and sold myself and had my resume for all the stuff I've done as an announcer and had a highlight clip of all my, of me announcing that they saw that and like, wow, the passion, the energy we're not going to promise you anything, but you're being considered. And that right there, just that, like, okay, I'm really going to go with this because they could have just ignored me, but they were receptive to the effort and energy I was putting out.
And that right there is worth its weight in gold, platinum even. You know, if
Yeah,
someone's like, you know what,
absolutely.
I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a
Yeah.
flyer.
Now,
Uh,
now I never got the call, no problem, because I know they have some legendary announcers and stuff there. So, but the fact that they even considered possibly needed me on the rotation, that I was like, hey, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes you kind of need that, just a batter in the back to be like, oh, y'all
Yeah,
even see me out here? Okay,
yeah,
you are bet, 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 bet. I'm gonna
yeah,
keep grinding. I'm just making sure y'all,
yeah.
y'all, you know,
Oh, for
you know.
sure. So I just knew that right there. If they like me, then there's how can you not? So that's why I just, again, it's all network and just being, when you're in these spaces, being professional, being respectful of the craft for each team. If there's extreme blowout, you don't want to rub it in. I never make, fun of anything. I'm always respectful, even on my post game interviews, whoever I do with the player of the game. I make sure it's above board. We never don't no negative energy, no negative talk. It's all about positive energy, about how you helped your team and the preparation you and your team did to win this game. Not that, oh, I'm better than them or they suck. I don't do negative energy or negative vibes. Even just in general, I'm all about positive vibes and energy. I believe that negative energy, I just stay away from me. If you, hey, love and respect, but you go over there, I don't, just positive vibes and energy all the way around me, because life is too short and too, you know, to dwell in negativity. So
Marsh on the mic, man. Appreciate the time you come on the show in the booth, man. Here's the fun
thank you.
part. Someone's listening to you right now. How can they connect you? How can they book you for things? Let them know.
So my Instagram is Marsh on the mic, MarshonThemic, Marsh on the mic. Also on Twitter or X. I also have Marsh on the mic at gmail.com for any inquiries. Um, yeah, that's it. I'm just thankful to be in this position, to build organically. Like when I started this, it was just a small, I'm just thankful that I've done it organically. I've done it with no handouts, no special favoritism, no nothing, even though that, against all odds, someone like me's never done this stuff in this space in this town. And no matter if the gate is not being shown or they're not answering the door, I'll just create my own platform and promote the people and the teams and the stories that I feel are deserving. So
No, I appreciate that. Just real quick before we get out of here, when you go to a
sure.
Padres game, what is your snack of choice? You a hot dog guy, pretzels? You do the
Uh,
hamburglers?
well, in San Diego, we got a lot of, like, they got the fish food, you know what I mean? They got fish tacos, they got the nachos. So just depending on the day, if it's a night game, it's a day game, but definitely,
Man's got options.
yeah. So it's not just like I like the glizzies, nah, or the hot dog. So it's more like, oh, because like they have a rotation. Sometimes it'd be a different. So just whatever's there in your feeling, but always have the 394 ale beer, the Tony Gwynn.
Let's
That's
go.
that right there. I just kind of have one, and I'm where I need to be.
Yeah, you too can drink history. All
Yeah, exactly,
right, brother.
exactly.
Thanks so much for being on the show. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you for having me, and San Diego stand up. We here, so appreciate your time. Thank you.